To be or not to be, that is the question, whether 'tis noble in the mind to suffer the slings and arrows of outrageous fortune, or to take arms against the sea of troubles, and by posing to end them. To die, to sleep no more. And by sleep we say we end the heartache of 1,000 natural shocks that flesh is here to us. 'Tis consumption, devoutly to be wished, to die, to sleep, perhaps a dream. There's a rub, and for that, the sleep of death, what dreams may come. When we have shuffled off this mortal coil, must we give our pause, there's the respect, and that makes the calamity of so long a life. For who would bear the whips and scorns of time, the oppressor's wrong, the man's contumely, the pangs of despised love, the law's delay, the insolence of office, and the spurns, the patient merit of unworthy takes, and when he himself might quiet this, a bond bare bodykin, who would for dales spare to grunt to sweat under a weary life, but dread of something after death, no undiscovered country from whose burn no travelers return, the puzzles the will, and that makes us rather their ills bear then fly to others that we not know of. The conscience thus does make us a coward of all, and thus the native hue of resolution is sickled, or the pale cast of thought, and enterprises the great pith and moment. With this regard, the currents turn away and lose the name of action. For this one, it's Hamlet, Act 3, Scene 1, and I definitely think that he's going over whether he or Claudius should die, and how he's troubling with his dad's death, and how he's not fully understanding that his dad is dead, but that Claudius killed him, and he can just not understand that betrayal between them. And I definitely think that he would rather die with his dad than be alive while his mom marries his uncle. And it's kind of sad for Hamlet. Like I think it's really sad, because he's just like going off about how sad he is in this soliloquy, and like to grunt and sweat under a weary life, but dread of something after death. Like I get what he's saying, like he dreads something after death, but at the same time he's living like a weary life, like he's kind of making himself kind of go insane through it. He's not really understanding the concept of his dad's death or the betrayal. He feels really angry in this one and sad. I think he feels a lot of sadness in this one, and I kind of feel bad for the guy. Like Shakespeare wrote this guy really sad and angry, and I just don't think that he needs to be this angry or sad with it. I mean, if someone murdered my parents, I would be very mad and very sad over it. But the betrayal, I think he just can't concept it. It's terrible. And he just goes over to, the weary life and the puzzles of after death and the illness and all that, and the enterprises of great pith in a moment. Like, I don't think he's fully thinking. I think he's just acting and then thinking and acting insane. I really think that he's not truly insane, but I think he's merely acting insane to get the questions of everybody else. And then when he kills Claudius, if he does kill Claudius, but I'm sure he does, like, kind of see it coming for Claudius, like, he did kill his dad. But when it comes, I think it's gonna be a relief on Hamlet, but also another sadness on him. And I don't know whether he can take another sadness, especially after he went off on his mom. And yeah.